Now, for the final step of this cleansing process for the databases, would continue with choosing a database that we have the variables that we defined that we wanted to keep for analysis. We include two of these variables based on the two others that are in this list also. And we have to define if we are going to remove or maintain those variables. So I'm going to save this database. In this case, I saved it as an Excel file, XLSX. So it's important to upload a package that will allow us to read these files. Read XL. If you don't have it installed, then install it. And this package allows us to read the files from Excel. So I'm going to create a function that's called selected variables, or in Spanish, variables seleccionadas. I'm going to use the read.xl sx, and I am going to choose that database. So let's always try and check every step that we take. And what I'm going to do now is to tell R that I'm going to update this database by extracting the names of the variables that I wanted to keep. So I'm going to write filter, the filter function from DeepLayer, and I'm going to tell it to filter all the variables that were selected, or all the rows whose action is to maintain. So I have to indicate that the action variable should be equal to maintain. And I could check it here to see how it looks like. And it's only choosing the ones that I decided to keep. So if I only want to keep this column to the left, I can say that I just want the first column. So I use the money symbol, and I can extract the column that I'm interested in. And this is the vector variables that I have chosen. And you can see that these were the names of the producer, their email, the date variables, they're not included anymore. So my database is organized. So I'm going to use the selection to store, selección. And I can also write here the final database, base de datos final, where I'm going to indicate that the maze database that we have been processing will only extract the selection columns. No, apparently I didn't include this row. There it is. So let's do a summary to prove that we already have it. There it is, yield, planting. So apparently we have our clean and processed database. We're still pending on estimating the atypical values and to choose what's the procedure to estimate them. And this is one of the things that we're going to see afterwards. Very well, so now we are just pending to write the database. So write.csv. Once again, the final database, base de datos final. And we tell that we are going to use base de datos maíz procesada for process database for maize.csv. And then we can check it in our folder. So this is the database with all the modifications that we carried out. So it automatically includes an ID. If I want to remove this ID, I'll let you know how to do it. So this is the database. We can see that it already has the filters that we defined that we're going to use. So there's no problems with upper and lower cases between the variables. So this is the database. It's already very close to be ready to continue with the analysis and a model of a cluster in case we wanted to do an explainable model of the yield. So if you want to remove that row, we can use this function, row.names equals to false. So with this, we finished this practical session on how to clean and process data. And hopefully you were able to understand it. And this is the script, so you can start to process it in case you want to do the practical session. This is not the only process that we have in order to clean data. This is the one that I would recommend because it allows us to have traceability of each one of the steps that we carry out. And it lets us identify the errors that there could be in the database as we explore it very fastly. So based on the database that each one of you is defining, you can choose something similar or you can have several modifications. But the idea is for you to use all the tools that R has if available and take into account the importance of spending some time in this processing phase. I hope that you like this exercise and we will be pending for the discussion in the next session that we're going to have an open conversation with you. So see you there.